Hello everyone and welcome back to another replay analysis video. I'm AndyDavo and this is a game recording in BloodBowl 2 between some Chaos Dwarves and some Wood Elves. I believe this is game 5 of the project where I go and review all of my games and we see what improvements we could do or I could make in this. So this game was a very interesting one, I thought, because this was our first delve into dealing with strip ball when you've got no sure hands and how the hell you play around it. So the tackle, of course, is not relevant here, but this player here is super important. You might also see this sort of gameplay or this sort of problem when you're playing at tabletop tournaments because you're playing with a team without sure hands and you've suddenly been matched up with something with strip ball. First of all, let's have a quick look. Let's just consider the choice. So I was offered the choice between kicking and receiving. And I think I'm going to cover this off because it actually came up for me at a tabletop tournament I just played in, which was I was playing Khorne and my opponent was playing Wood Elves, and I was playing with a leader ball carrier in exactly the same way I'm playing here with Edge 3, and they were playing Wood Elves with a strip ball War Dancer. I got the choice and I said I'm going to kick, and my opponent's face just was shocked. And the thinking behind this is that his offense and my defense are matched against one another, and then my offense is matched against his defense. And you should always think about the relative power levels of those two things. So his defense is very strong because he's got the ability to go 3+ leap in, and then just on even on a 2 dice uphill, 5 in 6 of the results are great. So he's got a 70% chance of stripping me if he uses, makes the 3+ leap. He's got about a 90% chance of stripping me if the 3+ leap works, which is horrific. Wood Elves ball on the floor against a predominantly Edge 2 team. We can't have that. So we need to play my offense at a time when maybe we're playing into only 7 or 8 Elves. The only way you can do that is make that offense in the second half. Thus, I've chosen to kick. I've taken the same setup as you'll have seen before, where we put the 2 strength 4 things on the line. I've also now been able to bolster that by dropping a guard in the middle. And the idea here is that we just don't give away any hits. So you could have put 3 Chorfs on the line, but if you do that, you'll take 3 armor rolls. That's no good. So the second idea, is to then maximize my value, or reduce his value, really, I suppose, where I try and take as few hits as possible. Luckily, get a perfect defense. Still think that he might try and roll this side, so the Goblin is kept back as a sweeper, and I haven't actually stuck loads of players in here to try and defend the Bull Centaur. We pick it up now, but I'm very conscious that he tries to roll me this way, which I do not want. And I messed around with this, as you can see, I messed around with this a lot. And the idea is that the Bull Centaurs are further away from the ball, but we're just creating a platform to stop the Elves getting past. What I don't want is him to do 1 or 2 very simple dice rolls and put me under lots of pressure. I think the correct play here for the Wood Elves is they're only trying to score on turn 8. They should pick the ball up on the thrower and run backwards, and then they should also try and create as much space as possible by just going as wide as possible across the pitch. And then I don't know where he's attacking, and I've got to try and work out what's going on. What you don't want to see is the ball picked up and then run into this space here, because all of a sudden he'll be in a very narrow point, and then I'll find it really easy to put lots of pressure on him. And you can already see by the moves that the opponent's making, they are looking at putting the ball into quite a tight space, which is asking for a little bit of trouble. It is nice that the ball's on a Blodge War Dancer. Makes it more difficult for me to sack with a Bull Centaur. That makes a lot of sense. And then the final thing you probably want to do, which he has managed a bit, is to try and make sure that these players are 2 squares apart, so I can't use pairs of players to go and tag out his team. Right, let's take a look at this turn. So this turn I think is probably this turn is not probably, it's going to set the tone for the whole drive. And I need to work out how I'm going to play this turn out and what we're going to do with it, because if we play passively, then I'm going to find it really difficult. If we play too aggressively, we could get stalled on in the corner. And also, if we play too aggressively, we might also get surfed. So the first question we should work out is, where's the blitz? Where are we going to try and apply some pressure? Now, looking at this right now, that would be a really nice player to put some pressure into if we can put a blocker in this square here. Just put that as there. And we can also somehow get into this square here. So those are things that I would like to do, right? Now, how do you do that? Well, this guy can go and stand in that square there. And then once you've worked out what you might want to do, then you should try and work out how you might choose to do it. So if this guy goes in here, we can then blitz. That's great. But that does leave this square open. So that probably suggests the bull centaur needs to come over here to go and support. And now you're putting tackle on the blitzer. What I also don't want to see is my opponent roll round me to my right. And I don't want to see this sort of movement. That would be a problem. So that also tells us, well, that tells me what I'm going to do is I want to start building a bit of a wall here, right? I don't want you to come into this wide zone, because if I can shrink the pitch down and make that pitch narrower, the elves are more congested, and that plays into my game style. The elves have speed and pace. They want to be all over the place. And that plays back into what I said at the start, which is if the ball was over here, attacking it is a massive problem. When it is congested like this, it's not as much of a problem to attack. So let's see how the turn plays through. This guy should be over here, but he can only go over here if I can make sure we don't get surfed. I think this guy's going to rotate over the top. So I've actually not chosen to go and do that, which is interesting. Didn't get the POW. Yeah. And it means because we didn't get the POW, it's difficult to press in to my opponent too hard here. This has worked out all right, hasn't it? Right, we've got a player that he's going to have to dodge. We've got a bit of pressure here. We've got a little bit of pressure here. The correct response is to take the ball away. You're not trying to do anything crazy. Sure, yeah, the blitz here is fine, and then if you get the POW, you can throw another cheeky 2 dice. That's okay. But you don't want to be doing any of these blocks without the ball being safe, I think. Now it's a 1 in 81. It eats the reroll. Luckily, it wasn't another 1 in 9, because if it was a 1 in 9, we had a 1 dice on the ball straight out of the gate, or even 2 dice if we want to use the ball centaur. And what that has done is it's blown a reroll. Yeah, you could have eaten that. If the ball was safe, you could have just eaten that, and we'll see whether having a lack of rerolls comes back and bites this coach later on. I think from memory, this is a coach that's watching on YouTube. So, sir, if you're watching, how you doing? Nice to have you here, and I hope you're enjoying some of the commentary. That elf, he could have come all the way down here and just been out of the way. I think that's where I'd have gone with this. Now, I don't really want to chase this war dancer into a sideline, so I'm probably I should probably be ignoring this elf to some degree, because do I actually care if he throws the ball to that elf on turn 3 and scores? No. Something I talk about in the coaching sessions with people, like, do we actually care about this? No, not on turn 2, not on turn 3. Sure, turn 5, 6, absolutely we care, right? We care a lot. But right now, not so much. These moves are to stop him rotating this way, and I'm feeling quite vulnerable right now, not emotionally, but this is a problem, and this is what these chuffs are for, to stop the rotation this way. I actually want him to come in here and have a fight, because the more close to come back we get, the better it is for us. Oh, it was a dodge that could have gone wrong. Ball is not safe. And now we've spotted that in a couple of turns, I'm looking at this thinking, I wonder how we can exploit that. I wonder how we can try and put a little bit of pressure into our opponent to try and say, hey, I know you're not making the ball safe enough. Let's try and get a bit more pressure. There's another 1 in 9. That was a dice roll you have to make. And then that one fails. It's fine. Now, with Chaos Dwarves, I think I'm very conscious that they are not a very good team to score on 2 or 3 turns of offense. But they probably score fine on 4 or 5 turns. So if they need 5 turns, the Wood Elves can score on turn 4. Well, they're now not scoring on turn 4 because this guy fell over. So I probably need to. Oh yeah. We need to now start really thinking about denial of scoring. We must not let him score. Still very worried about the ball coming over here. Clearly not that worried, as I've had to shore this space up. That's all right. Where's the ball going? And suddenly we have managed to create a bit of pressure on him. Like, you don't want to be doing that. That's just going to get smacked in the head. Right. So let's stop and have a bit of an analysis on what's going on here. We've got 2 dice here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there is 2 dice on the ball, which I think you should take. I think I should take that with 3 rerolls. I know the recovery sucks, but actually, what else am I going to do? I think if I'm going to take that on, I probably need to be making all the other dice rolls in the turn first. So although you normally want to throw your reroll into the most important thing in the turn, this is a bit of a speculative hit on the ball because I don't expect it to work, nor is it critical to my turn. What I do want to do is something like block here to try and take down a leader, pull a couple of chorfs over here and stop him coming across. So we take what is currently a bit sort of a tall building, a tall structure here where it goes up and then back down again, and I want to sort of flatten that out and bring some chorf blockers over. So this blocker needs to come over here. We're taking the 2 dice there and we're following up. This blocker probably needs to come over and be in this sort of area over here as well. And this blocker come forward. And then we can drop the loner back a little bit. I think that's important. So we follow here, we get to put some pressure on the war dancer. So that's now dodging. Okay, so I've backed out of that. I think on reflection, I think that's a mistake. I do genuinely think that's a mistake. I mean, we wouldn't have rolled a POW, but it's still a mistake. Because what I'm actually doing is saying, hey, we'll just squeeze you a bit. We'll just squeeze you. Yeah, and this guy needs to come over here. No, this guy absolutely should come over here. Okay, so I'm all right, fine. So I'm trading this out, and then you need to jump the other side of that. Okay. All right. So this is an interesting one. Let's try and solve this from our opponent's point of view, because what do you actually do here? Because you've only got a couple of free players. My gut reaction is to try and get into this area here, and so you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Blitz with a war dancer. Hopefully you roll a POW. Hopefully you roll a POW. If you don't, this is in trouble. You've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a go for it, and you might make the loner dodge. It's not great, and in fact, it's probably that not great that it's bad. So that was my first reaction. I think now, having now just talked that out and said, oh God, if this fails, we're in terrible shape, you've got to go the other way. And you've probably got to go stand this guy up, blitz here, get the war dancer away from tackle, back off a little bit, dodge, dodge, run this guy down here. Then if you step this guy up and run over there, with 2/2+ rolls, you've suddenly pulled the Chorfs around quite a lot. And you could also then try and push that through here. I think that's probably where I would actually go, because the fail state is nowhere near as bad, and the success criteria is broadly similar. Okay, so he rolls the kapow. Let's look at it from my point of view again. So we've now got a semi-potato, which he's now got to defend. That move was interesting. That move was conscious that we've just done this, rather than thinking big picture. Tackle. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. So I need to be very precise with my with my next turn, because otherwise we're in trouble. And this is one of those turns where if you have a piece of bad luck right now, you will go on and draw the game, or you're going to have to do something outrageous in the second half. So, Bull, Centaur, Blitz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blam. Right, don't roll a double 1, don't roll a 1 in 81, fine. The dodge with this guy that he just made here means that we can't get 2 dice with tackle. So really, I think what I should do here is bring 1, 2, 3, 4, bring this guy back. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can't stand in that square, so it can't be a 4 square diagonal. So he probably stands there. It's almost as good, and it doesn't get in my own way. If I'm feeling fruity, we throw that block, but I'm not, so we throw that block. This is going to stand up. And we don't move this guy yet. I think what I might want to do is bring the Bull Centaur down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just gonna be down here, right? Just be down here. Be constructive. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not helpful. So you probably need to come across here. And we just throw the block. We just throw the War Dancer Blitz. Don't want to move too many players. Throw the War Dancer Blitz. See what happens. But absolutely bring the Bull Centaur down. I think that's a mistake on my part. I think he should have been available to do stuff. And we probably could have moved a couple of Chorfs. Yeah, I think I could have moved a couple of Chorfs here. Now, very conscious of leap. So, if he dodges and he leaps, he's got a load of 3s to make. So these 2 hobgoblins are designed and put in place to try and make leaping a pain in the arse. We've got to shut this guy down from just being able to run across here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's fine. And this is where we can now bring a little bit more resource across and be a go for it. What's it? And bring in there. And this guy needs to come and support. There we go. Because otherwise, he can 1 dice with a War Dancer. My gut reaction with the Wood Elves now is blitz this guy. And then come and try and stand in the middle. Which is exactly what looks like it's about to happen. Rando Kaz. Against Wood Elves, you're probably okay to apothecary that. And that was a mistake. I think he should have been on the diagonal there. I also think we want to be moving the ball. Yep, gets out. Fine. It's not unreasonable. And this is the point where I can now put pressure onto this cage. And I am genuinely a little bit worried that he scores. Nice non-follow to give yourself a free elf. And the idea now is that if you can put pressure in the back and then you can stack in the front, it's going to make it very difficult for him to get out. So I'm thinking about all the squares that you can escape into and how we make those squares as unpleasant to dodge into as possible. At the moment, that's an open square. And that is a problem. He's got an open square to dodge into. Arguably, a bull centaur needs to go there, then. Yeah, we've not shut that down. We've not shut that down at all. I think we could have run the bull centaur around the top. Yeah. Many dodges. Now, next really important thing for the Wood Elves, scoring threats. They must have more than one scoring threat. Otherwise, if I neutralise the one scoring threat they've got, you can't score. So, yeah, that was really important that happened. Probably could have happened earlier in the turn. Now he's got 3 scoring threats. 4 scoring threats. I think that War Dancer's in range as well. In fact, it is. So he's got 4 scoring threats. I'm not stopping the score here. And I think I'm not stopping the score at this stage. Probably not stopping the score because while I've forced some rolls, I don't think I've not played perfectly. I've not made quite enough rolls. That wasn't a frustration re-roll. That was to try and get this guard guy into here to try and put tackle on the ball again. It didn't work, but that was the plan. So the next thing to try and do is I've got to try in front of this War Dancer, right? I'm not going to shut down all the scoring threats. We must get in front of this War Dancer. Make it have to do something unpleasant. Oh, yeah. So sorry about the yawning. I've been working quite a lot recently and I'm very tired, but yeah, sorry about the yawning. There we go. We get to push into that. And we haven't got a scoring threat, so it would have been nice to have had something where we can capitalise on if this goes wrong. We haven't got anything we can score with. Second casualty for me. So we're now down. Well, I say we're now down. We're now down to 11. Elves have done quite a lot of damage. Almost 7 elves. It's fine. And it looks like we're going to have to see a score. So, having done 1 casualty to the elves, I've now got a problem, and we need to try and work out how we're going to try and win this game. I've put them under some pressure, and the goal at the start of the game was to play into a War Dancer, play into the War Dancer with tackle with loads less players. That hasn't played out like that. In fact, we're playing off 12. Yeah, we were playing off 12, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we were playing with 12. I'm going to be really hard. I'm not going to be able to one-turn this unless that gap is left. Holy moly. Okay, so the gap's been left. I should absolutely be trying to score into there. With movement, I'm effectively trying to do movement 7, so the bull centaur would need to be stood here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So this is a turn where I should be trying to one-turn. Yeah, I should be one-turning this. I clearly didn't spot that. Okay. All right. So the kick is unfortunate, but I should be trying. That's misplay. It is remarkable what I spot when I watch this back. Like I remember not even trying. There we go. Do we get a removal? Nope. What about here? We get one more shot at trying to get the removal. Maybe Cruel can do it. Nope. Okay. So no removal. We'll jump into the second half. We'll carry on with that. There is no removal there. And we're one down. So if you're playing as Wood Elves here, what you probably want to do is put pressure onto the Chorfs. And that means a kind of a wide setup. And the wide probably wants to be over this side. If you're unsure about defensive setups, I did do a guide video, which I think at the moment is my opening on the channel in terms of talking about how you do defensive and offensive setups. If you haven't watched it, I'd recommend it immensely. So, blitz. Ouch. I think that could have been stood under the ball. Because what you want to do now is you want to make sure that the tackle here can't blitz the ball, and you also want me to blitz him in such a way that if I do blitz, I'm pushing into this square here rather than blitzing into these sorts of squares and into my own tackle player, right? Because if I can hit from this square with a Bull Centaur, I get 2 dice with Bull Centaur, I get 2 more dice with tackle. It's pretty nice. Like, that's not bad, but it could be better. So first up, can we do something with this? Pop you in there. We look out, we actually roll double pow. But just check this out. So if I follow up here, what we've now got is a box. So there's a box here of 4 players. By following up, that is 2 dice, and then I actually get to push this Chorf into that square there, and we've got the ability to go and then liberate the ball. It's probably going to scatter somewhere kind for us, because all of these squares are actually quite good for us. So that the straight line defense from our opponent was no good. Is let's just wind that back and have a look and see what we could have done. So we'll go back to here. We get the blitz. What we know, the ball is going to go in that square there. So I'll use red as the colour for the ball. He's put an assist in that square there. You need an assist there. You need an assist there. You need to defend those 2 squares. Because as soon as you knock out both of those squares, then this is an entirely different problem. Well, this guy was actually stood here. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh look, you've now got someone stood there. You could take this guy and run him around the side. Then you could blitz with a War Dancer there and stand him round here. And then all you have to do is take the thrower and get around the top. Granted, it's a couple of go for it. You've got rerolls. That's what they're for. And then the rest of this play, you could do some other like quite amusing things. For example, take this guy into here, and then 3+ leap into that square there, and then be stood here. And at that point, I'm probably screwed. There is probably game-winning moves in this turn for the Wood Elves that aren't made. Let's get back to the present time. So we've got the ball on the floor. We've got a goblin that can pick the ball up. But I've got to be super duper careful of Strict Ball Boy. And notice I'm not taking both blocks, because we could have taken 2 dice there and 2 dice there. I'm actually taking 2 dice so we can go and try and build a cage. And then I want satellite players around the cage, here, here, so that if he leaps in, the ball will still be in multiple tackle zones, and it'll be an absolute so-and-so to get out again. So this was a nice idea to get the War Dancer out. And then he wants to run away. And if I've got any aspirations of winning this, I need to trundle down the board pretty quickly. We also need to start really killing off some elves. So, spot the surf. Spot the surf. I think there's 2 ways to do this, Surf. Yeah, there's 2 ways to do this, Surf, and I'm gonna go the wrong way. Haha. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go the wrong way, and I'm gonna leave it at that for the time being. And yep. And I messed it up. So let's go back to the start of that turn. And let's think about it from a different design angle where I can't mess this up. So, what have we got? What am I even looking at, and why do I say there's a surf? So when you've got connected players, you've got what I actually saw then in the game was that T shape, right? So I'm looking at blocking in that direction and pushing his player into that square there, and then because I can blitz from this angle here, we can create a box there. Appreciate that's an awful lot of stuff on the screen. So that's what I was looking at. But there's also another T shape, which I said straight out the gate. Well, that one, and then that guy goes there. So I should be blocking here. And that T shape is entirely reasonable to make. And it comes with another T shape there, blocking in that direction, if the first one fails. So there was probably 2 players on the board here that we could surf. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go and walk into that square there. So as long as I can get in that square there, that's a T shape. Well, we saw the elf that was stood here. It dodged away and fell over and was rubbish. So we can do it. And at that point, you can probably get at least the thrower. I don't think you can get the wood answer as well, but you can certainly get the thrower. The thrower is a guarantee. And I don't see it because the camera angle's not quite high enough. And then this failed surf attempt actually puts me into a little bit of a problem because the non-POW here means I can't complete the the surf. We also need to press on. So let's see a blitz. Let's see a blitz into here. Or at least with one of these guys. And remembering these Chorf blockers are so slow. Yeah, I want to be seeing blockers taking some forward movement. Okay, so I put pressure into here. He does a good job of being able to now dig out his elves. But this is not looking like anything other than 1-1. Or losing when the strip ball war dancer takes the ball off me. Okay. What are we going to see with this? I would like to see me make some yardage. Would very much like to see me try and make some yardage. Oh, the tease. So there's another possible sort of surfy type action on. I don't think that's the right play. And indeed, we're going to try and push forwards. I think this might have been a mistake because to try and if we don't roll a POW here, like a POW, now both down is no good because we're going to be left next to the ball. That had to be a POW. I think that was quite optimistic. But the idea is that we're trying to push forwards. I think I'm being a little bit greedy here. Also not rolling. If I'm going to do stuff, he should be stood up. I don't need to complete cage corners. What even are cage corners? There we go. Right. Full center up. And that's okay. But he's got 1 dice on the ball. Straight up, got 1 dice. Just needs to stand there and stand someone in there, and you can 1 dice with strip ball. That's 3+, 2+ to take the ball off me. I don't think I've done a very good job of defending that. Yep, yeah, 3+, 2+, 4, 1 dice on the ball. Which I think you should be brave and take. I do. Having only removed 1 elf, I'm not sure we can get any further in here. Two choices, blitz through here, blitz through here. I think probably blitz through here. There is an argument for going this way because, yeah, there's more players on this side, so there is an argument for doing that. Yeah, we can now put you in scoring range. And by putting you in scoring range, we can play this out for a potential win. Potential win. But look what I've had to expose. Goblin, ball carrying goblin. And I'm going to really struggle to do anything other than create just an X-shaped cage. This is, I'd say this is a little bit lazy. Because he's got 3+, 2+, 4 dice on the ball. And against some coaches, I'll get completely crushed for this. So he does take it on, by the looks of things. This is absolutely the right play. Well played. Yep, leap into there. Makes it. Makes it. Absolutely the right play. Where's the ball going? Don't follow. Normally you do follow. In these some circumstances where she's your most important player. Just don't. Just stay put. And if you've still got the reroll, you could even... No, maybe not. That guy could have gone in there. Because you connected here and here and here. This guy wants to be connected as well. Yeah. Not a fan of that. So my goal is to try and win this game and score. So we've got 2 players on the ball to remove, and we might even be able to serve. But the serve isn't the most high pressing priority. So let's just try and free up some chuffs. Block there, block there. We have to follow that up now, so we get the extra block from the guard. And once you've knocked, as I say, once you've knocked this over, suddenly you're getting extra assists, but failed to knock this over. Now that wasn't as lucky as it looked like it was, because we'd still got the 2 dice there, which I could then have done something else with. This is me saying, hey, we need to win this game. I'm going to go win this game. That's probably suboptimal from a correct line of play point of view, but I'm going to try and win the game. So, picked up the ball and banged it in. What have I learned so far? Well, in this game, I've learned that my defense against strip ball is not good enough, and that actually either one or two things. I'm either playing the coach, and I'm trying to get the most value out of a game that I think I can win, or and I cannot play like this against like let's say the best player in the world, and I've got to play an entirely different second half. So there is a you can say, well, you're not playing literally the best player in the world, so you can play a little bit loosey-goosey and get away with it. And I think that's probably what I'm going to go with this as a defence. That's really good for me because everything is nice and tight. Doesn't actually change anything other than the fact that it wasn't both down. However, this... ouch. This is going to get me into trouble if it works. This is going to get me into trouble if it works. The ball is not on a blodger, so this time, punching it with a bull centaur, in fact, punching it with anything, is great. Ball is not on a bull centaur, on a war dancer. Whereas before, it was, and for a good chunk of the drive, it was a real pain in the arse. Oh no. Oh no. This is like the attack on the Death Star, this is. Suddenly, everyone cried out in terror at once. And then everyone fell silent. Because there's 2 dice on the ball here. But it's got to be engineered in a very specific way. So, if this guy is removed, and like removed out of the way, that opens that diagonal up. So, we need to tag this guy, we need to tag this guy, but we cannot stand in the square that the chap, this elf, is stood in here. We also have to make sure that it gets out of the way. So we've got a block there, not follow, push it in that square there. If it's a push, that's fine, just still don't follow, and then we need to block there. If it's a POW, brilliant. We can then do other things with the chalk blockers, like bring this guy around here, and bring this guy into here. And then one of the bull centaurs is going to blitz. Probably this guy. The problem with this is going to be where the hell is the ball going to go, and how much can we pressure. Then you see it can't be that way, because if it's not a knockdown, I can't get the following 2 dice block. So now we've got all the pieces in place. Probably not a bad idea to go and cover this war dancer. Ideally in sort of tar or something. Okay. Now the blitz. Probably looking at this now, slightly too many players on this, because this is going to be really difficult if we get a ball recovery. Like, what am I going to do with it? Oh, he's just going to catch it. Right. So, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go and stand in there. Right, and I know where I'm about to go and stand, but I think there's a much stronger square. And also, once you now I have this piece of information, which I didn't have a second ago. I think another chalk blocker could have stood in the square that he's going into. And just by standing something in here, that just makes everything a bit harder for him. Like, that just limits what he can do. So he's got 2 dice block with block. That's a godsend for me, because it means the ball can't move again. And now suddenly we're into the chance of being able to win this. I think it's not insane to actually foul here. Oh wow, he's just rolled a 1 and a 1. So block with the chaff and follow. I need to block here and follow. And I need to cancel this guy out. There's so many cancellation requirements. So now you can actually step in and cancel both of those. That's fine. And we've actually somehow managed to make this bull centaur through. If we roll a POW, it needs to go there, so that there's more scatter squares that are good for us. And no scatter squares that are good for the elves. And there's also no point ramming this guy into this square, because he's not providing any counter assists. When he goes on a corner like that, he's providing a counter assist. And this is me giving myself a the best possible chance of scoring. So I've got an Edge 3 player in scoring range. Maybe we win this. Maybe we can win this. I would have gone on the ball. I'd have absolutely gone on the ball. Because that one player there is providing a yeah, that made that a 2 dice. Yeah, that made that pull all these extra players in. So he's going to go for the pickup. We're going to see a hero play. Wow. So we've got an interception. And that is going to probably win me the game. It's my turn 16. I just need to make a 3-up, 2-up to score and clear this guy. So, I think the pass there looked like a 10 square pass, so it was 4-up, 3-up. Could have easily lost that game. That's fine. Probably worth bringing someone down as well. Go and cover the war dancer as a fail state. Like, consider the fail state. Why are we not standing this guy up as well? Why are we not standing this guy up? There we go. So, let's see what happens. Now I'm considering fail state when it's already basically worked. No. And it is worth just considering if there's a chain push on. There isn't, but it's worth looking to see if there is one. Now, you want to probably run the ball over here, so that if you drop it, your scatter square is miles away, rather than running the ball over here, where the elves can get to it. So, control chalk score. Let's jump forwards. And now we're looking at trying to defend against a 1-turn. This is one of the more standard 1-turn defences out there. There are others, but this one is mine. What I like about this is blitzing this guy is really hard because of the cancel assist, and this is blocking the diagonal in reverse. The reverse diagonal. So now, if you find this video really interesting, please leave a like and subscribe. And also, and this is an extra request, if you wouldn't mind, just on this occasion, please can you ring the bell notification, because about only 8% of all the people who watch this channel have the notification bell turned on. So when we post a video, you will see the content appear in your subscription feed, and it would be amazing if we can get that number to sort of 15%. So if you haven't got your subscription feed turned on, please do so. That'd be really helpful. The algorithm really weights that as a thing. So we managed to find a win there. We threw way more blocks, which was great, and I think we probably need to review and reconsider how I'm playing on defense in terms of putting pressure in when we can take the strike on the ball, which was on turn 4. We should have done. But overall, I'm quite pleased with it. I think, fortunately, the elf coach had probably more scope to improve things. So if you are the elf coach and you're watching this, or you play elves and you're watching this, yeah, maybe this review is actually more about them than it is me. But anyway, until the next one, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.